world tree. It seems so close, but it's a mirage. It's so big that it seems to be close, but I still got a long way to go.
I don't know. Looks pretty close to me. There's a lot of variety when it comes to stealth games, with everything from Hitman to Thief, from Splinter Cell to Metal Gear. And that's not even mentioning all the games with stealth elements that don't make it their primary focus. One game in this genre that I've had my eye on for a while is Styx, Master of Shadows. With gameplay like a medieval Splinter Cell and a cool looking protagonist, it had me interested. So let's go Goblin mode and check it out. The basics of the setting are established in the intro cutscene. The game takes place in the Atrium of Akanash, a massive tower built around a world tree. World trees are big magical trees full of delicious gooey amber, and that amber is important. Elves can use it to communicate telepathically, and we can use it to create clones of ourselves, use Witcher senses, or turn invisible. It also makes people using it look like they've been possessed by demons. The tower was built by the humans to control the tree, but they don't know how to extract the amber, so they've made a treaty with the elves, who do know how to extract the amber. But it's an uneasy alliance, and the humans really don't like the elves. We're also introduced to the goblin on the cover, Styx, who likes monologuing and getting captured. Amber use has affected him, causing him to hear the thoughts of all other Amber users, and he's not a fan.
This noise. These voices. I can't stand it. Humans. Elves. All their private little chatter is mixed up in this disgusting soup. A flood of ideas, constantly flowing into my head.
He's interrogated by the human governor and his son Aaron. This is used as a framing device, with Styx describing the things happening in the mission and then cutting over to us playing the mission. The first mission starts and our guy joins many other protagonists as victims of amnesia. He can't remember much except that he wants to steal the heart of the world tree. And then we start playing. So how does it play? The movement's pretty good, with a focus on jumping and climbing. You can jump pretty far and grab onto ledges as well as handholds that you can jump between. So while you aren't Spider-Man, you can climb around like a monkey in most areas. The maps seem designed with this in mind, featuring a lot of verticality, and oftentimes there will be an alternate route you can climb up or down to in order to avoid a tricky area. You also have a lot of tools for staying hidden, like taking cover behind walls, hanging off ledges, and hiding in various hiding places. Other than just staying out of enemies' line of sight, the most important aspects of stealth are light and sound. If you stay in the dark, enemies have a harder time spotting you, and you can use the convenient cup located on every torch to put it out, or throw pocket sand at it to put it out from a distance. However, the lighting in this game seems primarily designed to look nice, because while the lighting does a good job of enhancing the visuals, it doesn't do the best job of letting you know when enemies can actually see you, since even dark areas in this game aren't that dark. To help you know when you're hidden in the dark, you have a tribal tattoo sleeve that glows bright orange when you're hidden in the darkness, which seems a bit counterproductive, but sure. Other than that, there's also the standard stealth game strangeness of guards with no peripheral vision and an inability to see things that are above them. This is explained somewhat by one of the conversations you can overhear that says goblins are a creature from their folklore that you can see from the corner of your eye but then disappears when you look for it.
You believe in goblins, Jim? Did they exist? Goblins? What's that? You know, it's stories. Creatures you see from the corner of your eye, but that are no longer there when you turn around. Oh yeah. Sometimes happens to me. Seeing things that don't exist.
Though that doesn't really explain why hiding under a table makes you invisible. This issue also extends to the sound. You can crouch to make less sound than running, and slow walk to make even less sound than that, but for most enemies, you're quiet enough to avoid detection just from crouching, even though you can clearly hear our guy make a bunch of noise when crouch walking. A nice detail is that you can bump into things that can fall over, which makes a sound getting the attention of the guards. It encourages paying attention to your surroundings. While on the subject of sound, I'll also bring up the soundtrack because I really like it. Most of the stuff you hear in missions is subtle, ambient tracks of mostly bass and violins that help build atmosphere and tension without drowning out the sounds of the game. There are also more high-energy tracks that play at key points during the story and during combat that incorporate more drums and sometimes even a choir. There is one level with audio so bad that it's worth bringing up. In the mission Deliverance, you sneak into a prison, and for some reason there's a constant ringing, tinnitus-like noise for the entire duration of one of the maps. The only explanation I could think of for this is that our character has some bad headaches at this point in the story, but I don't think it's worth adding to the immersion by also giving the player a headache. Our most interesting ability is to use the Amber to create a shadow clone of ourselves that we can assume direct control of to distract guards and take risks we'd rather avoid. It's also used for some neat puzzles, like this one where we need to get past some bugs guarding a collectible with a nearby room-sized incinerator with a door that closes and burns anything in it when pulling a lever outside. So you can park your guy by the lever, use a clone to lure the bugs inside, return to your guy, and pull the lever, burning all the bugs. As we will find out later, this ability will also have a massive impact on the story. You can also stealth kill guards that haven't noticed you, either slowly and quietly, or quickly and loudly. I didn't use the quick kill much since it's loud enough to alert guards the next town over. You can also unlock some more killing options later, like pulling guards down ledges, around corners, and dropping down on them from above. You can also take them up with throwing knives, but you can only hold 2 of those by default and you can't retrieve them from the corpse afterwards, and some enemies like the knights wear knife-proof armor, so it's not overpowered. Knights also can't be stealth killed the normal way, but you still have options. You can also get environmental kills, like poisoning food and water, dropping heavy stuff on them from above, and pushing them off ledges. These also have the added benefit that enemies won't be alerted if they find the corpse, since they'll assume it was an accident. In other cases, a discovered body means the guards will go on high alert, causing their patrol paths to become more erratic, and they'll check nearby hiding places, so generally, you want to avoid this. You can hide the bodies in chests, closets, down one of the many bottomless pits of the game, or just in low traffic areas where the guards don't check. In an emergency, you can also melt them down with acid, Walter White style. If you get discovered, you can fight the guards, but this is a stealth game and you're a short king half their size, so this is not optimal. When you're close to an enemy that's seen you, you get locked into combat and have to parry their weapon swings. Do this enough times and you get a prompt to kill them. For a construction worker swinging his mallet at you, you only need to parry once, but more elite enemies need to be parried a couple of times before you can kill them, and some enemies like the knights and elves can't be parried and just insta-kill you as soon as they touch you. If you alerted more than one enemy, the others won't just stand around and watch, they'll throw knives to shoot crossbows at you, so foregoing stealth entirely and just fighting is not really an option in this game. Luckily, even when you screw up, you can avoid being detected with your strongest ability. You can use the power of Amber to turn invisible for a short period of time. This is obviously a very strong ability in a stealth game, and it can be upgraded to be even better, muffling your footsteps, refunding half its amber cost, and not using up duration if you're standing still. It's probably a little too good, and oftentimes I could bypass some of the more interesting stealth challenges by just going through them while completely undetectable. The only thing limiting its use is the amount of amber you have. A full meter is enough for 2 uses, and the meter can be filled to the halfway point by flasks of amber found in the environment or pickpocketed from guards. This is only really a serious limitation in the early game. After that, you can get the upgrade to refund half the cost and upgrade the amber flask to fully refill the amber meter. Once you have those 2, you can piece out of basically any sticky situation. As we progress through the first mission, we're introduced to the land of contrasts that is this game's visuals. The environments are amazing looking, especially the outdoors areas that really manage to convey the massive scale of Akinash. But the indoor areas also look great, generally being split up between the upper class areas like the embassy, library, and governor's apartments, and the underground areas like the jail, incinerator, and refinery. The upper class areas are clean, beautiful, and about as gaudily decorated as Donald Trump's bathroom. The underground areas, on the other hand, are grungy and run down, with sections of them abandoned and taken over by insects that will attack you on sight, but strangely leave everyone else alone. Another neat detail in these areas is that a part of the treaty with the elves forbids the humans from cutting or pruning the roots of the world tree, but the roots are constantly growing, so the humans have to build and reinforce around them, meaning there are roots all over the place in many of these underground areas. Later in the mission, we meet one of Styx's allies, Oscan, who has a lengthy cutscene conversation with several close-ups giving us the other side of the contrasting graphics. The character models look pretty rough, and the lip sync doesn't match very well with what the characters are saying. When playing the game, this isn't a big deal since you're not seeing the faces up close like this, but these cutscenes really shine a massive spotlight on these beautiful faces. This only applies to the in-engine cutscenes. There are also these painted cutscenes, and they look a lot better. Oscan says he set up a safe house for us in the sewers following a deal we made before losing our memories, so we head there and complete the mission. You get a scoreboard after finishing every mission that shows you how well you did, which bonus objectives you completed, and how many skill points you earned. You can spend skill points on improving abilities and adding new ones, so getting more is pretty nice. You get a set amount for finishing the mission and extras for any bonus objectives you complete. These vary from mission to mission, like one where you have to snipe a guy from the grassy knoll, while for another, you'll steal the ashes of the governor's dead wife. Every mission also has some consistent challenges, like the ones to finish a mission without alerting anyone, without killing anyone, completing it within a certain time limit, and finishing the mission's collection of commemorative coins. The ones other than the coin collecting need no more explanation, but that one is a bit special. Missions are usually 3 or 4 maps played one after the other, and every map has 10 coins hidden throughout it. You can find these without any help, but the best way to find them is to use your Amber Vision Witcher senses, which highlights enemies, hiding places, handholds for climbing, and once upgraded, shows the locations of all coins through walls. This makes it possible to find them all without resorting to a walkthrough, but that doesn't mean there aren't any issues. Most missions are 4 maps, and every map has 10 coins, so a total of 40 coins. This can obviously take a bit of time, but the reward for all the challenges is the same, 20 skill points. And I found the no killing and no alerts challenges to be much easier and faster than collecting the coins. And collecting the coins increased the chances I'd have to kill someone or be discovered, losing out on the points those would have given. You also only get the reward for the coins if you gather all of them. 39 out of 40, you get nothing. So unless you're going for that 100% run, you may as well not even bother. This is a bit of a nitpick though. I only really went after the side objectives on most missions, and that was enough to get most of the skills I wanted. The game also doesn't have a chaos system or anything like that, so unless you're a dedicated completionist, you don't need to worry about those challenges. The most interesting side objective is the relics. Every mission has a relic, and you're given a hint on where it is and how to access it. These range from just straight up telling you to go down a well and showing you exactly where the well is on the map, to extremely cryptic hints that barely even help, to just straight up lying and showing a drawing that looks completely different from where the relic actually is. The first couple of missions are preparation for stealing the heart of the tree. We forge orders for an airship to leave the atrium after the theft so we have a way out. We find maps of the whole atrium drawn by its designer before he mysteriously disappeared. Though we have had maps of all the levels before this somehow. We also sneak into the governor's secret goon cave to get the key needed to access the tree, and lastly head to the prison to free a friend there who can help with the heist. Getting into the prison is unsurprisingly a bit tricky, with a lot of guards and even orcs guarding it, though these orcs look more like Fallout super mutants than most fantasy orcs. The prison also doubles as an alchemy lab where mad scientists are conducting amber-themed experiments on the prisoners. We reach the cell holding our friend and find Styx! Our guy's in shock, and Styx explains the twist. We're just a clone. Those disposable clones we send into harm's way without a second thought? Yeah, we're one of those. Styx sent us out to prepare for the heist while he intentionally got captured to stir up tensions between the humans and the elves in his interrogation. We don't have memory loss. The reason we have no memories from before we woke up at the start of the game is because we didn't exist before then. Now this is foreshadowed pretty heavily, what with the amnesia and with our internal monologue calling us Rakash when giving us instructions, which is the word our character uses to refer to his clones. Though it's less would you kindly and more hey asshole.
Hey, Rakash.
Anyway, Styx figures we fulfilled our purpose and stabs us in the back before leaving. We survive this and go after him, with our only remaining motivation being revenge. The next mission is the last one in reverse, where we sneak back out through the prison. But Styx didn't go for the no alerts bonus and instead created a bunch more clones that have attacked the guards and captured Aaron, the governor's son. He had ordered the only bridge leading to the tree destroyed to prevent Styx from stealing the heart, which Styx figured he wouldn't do unless there was another way to the tree. So Styx interrogates him by force feeding him some amber. I mentioned in the beginning that the elves can use amber to communicate telepathically, and the amber has given Styx a similar power. It makes him constantly hear the thoughts of all the elves and humans that have ever used amber. He can use this ability to read Aaron's mind and learn that he's keeping the architect that designed Akanash, Querberus, locked up in a refinery that turns amber into basically a drug to be sold on the black market. Styx figures Querberus knows a way to reach the heart of the tree and goes after him. We do too, since all we want right now is to kill Styx. After we escape the prison, the first place we head to is our hideout, where we find Oscan. He knew we were a clone all along and wasn't expecting us to return. You get a choice if you want to kill him or not, but it has no effect on the rest of the game. So we sneak into the organic meth lab and find Querberus. He's an old blind guy with short-term memory loss that we help escape in a sort of stealth escort mission where we tell him to go between checkpoints when the coast is clear. I know this had me worrying, especially since I was going for the pacifist and no alerts challenges this mission, but it wasn't as bad as you might expect when you hear stealth escort mission. Once we're back at the hideout, Styx gives us a mental Zoom call and shows us his backstory in a pair of cutscenes where a young orc named Styx sets out to find the world tree in order to study the amber, which then at some point makes him go full goblin mode. We then confront him and it doesn't go entirely according to plan. Every time we attack him, he just poofs into smoke and eventually gets tired of us, pulling a nothing personnel before leaving us for dead again. This time we're rescued by the elf ambassador to the humans, who explains that the reason we can't kill Styx is because our glow-in-the-dark tribal tattoo forms a link between us and him, letting him read our thoughts. He says if we crawl into an elf cocoon, that will laser off the tattoo, letting us fight Styx on a level playing field. But before letting us do that, he needs us to help stop Aaron from starting a war between the elves and the humans. To do this, we need to get some documents proving Aaron is running the maple syrup meth lab and have the ambassador presented to the governor. We get the documents, but Styx is one step ahead of us, killing the governor during the meeting, pinning the governor's murder on the elves, and ensuring the corrupt elf-hating Aaron takes over. We escape with the ambassador, only to find Styx is found and fatally wounded Kerberos after learning that he put a secret way to the tree in the governor's goon cave. Kerberos also gets an oddly emotional death scene. The clone we play as is generally pretty irreverent, not caring much for anyone but himself, and acting pretty smarmy in most situations. But he seems to get genuinely sad watching Kerberos die.
Another life. That would be nice. Farewell, Kerberos. Say hello to Manfred for me.
At this point, Styx knows the way to the heart of the tree, and the elves guarding it have been imprisoned by Aaron. The ambassador lays out his plan: steal the key to elf jail from Aaron, who has now gone full Nazi and looks pretty rough after the amber overdose Styx gave him, release the elves, use the tattoo removal cocoon conveniently located inside the elf jail to laser off our tribal sleeve, head to the tree, and kill Styx. So we steal the key from the pirate Aaron gave it to and free the elves, but those ungrateful bastards throw us into the jail, saying the amber told them we're gonna destroy Akanash. Luckily, the cocoon is still there and we escape after lasering off the tattoo. Outside is a bloodbath. The elves are trying to stop Styx and are killing all the humans in the way. Even the knights that could one-shot us don't stand a chance against them. We don't have much trouble getting past them though. Their detection is based more on proximity than line of sight, since they can detect the amber in our body when close to us, though, strangely, it seems wooden boxes can block their telepathy. This means as long as we stay out of their radius, they won't spot us, but even if they do, we can throw knives at their Achilles foreheads to instantly kill them. They're meant to be the endgame challenge, but I kinda found them easier to deal with than the human guards. It's even a little strange they were able to overwhelm the humans, since the guards threw knives like this was Naruto when fighting me. After getting past the elves, we confront Styx in a boss battle that's a little anticlimactic. He summons 2 waves of 3 clones, the second of which is stealthed. After we clear them out, there's a cutscene where Styx is distracted by some elf ghosts guarding the heart, letting us grab it. Styx explains that he wants to study the heart to try to use it to turn back into an orc. Our guy doesn't care though. All he wants is to make his own choices with his own free will, so he does the one thing he's absolutely sure no one else wants him to do and destroys the heart of the tree, killing the world tree and destroying Akanash. Before Styx can kill him, he drops into the big amber lake below, causing a horde of clones to appear and rip Styx to pieces. In the epilogue, the tree is dead, Akanash is destroyed, and a lone clone wakes up, remembering little except his name: Styx. And that's the end. Overall, I found the gameplay to be pretty fun, but the story was what kept me coming back and finishing the game. Having the main character be just another disposable clone was an interesting idea, and I liked that the mysteries the game set up were mostly resolved in satisfying ways. I also liked how the clone destroyed the heart in the end, even after all the help he got from the ambassador. It would have rung hollow to have him stop obeying Styx, only for him to start taking orders from a different voice in his head, even though the ambassador is a lot nicer to him than Styx was. The game has a sequel, and I've heard Cyanide Studios' greenskin-flavored RPG of Orcs and Men takes place in the same universe, so this might not be the last we've seen of this setting. This has been Rom. If you liked the video, you can hit the like button, and if you'd like to see more in the future, you can subscribe to the channel. See ya!